Good morning. It's time for the 2020 challenge. I'm Catherine Gordon, your trainer for today. I'm the Sugar Freedom Woman. At any rate, this is an Einstein program. Solutions should be as simple as possible, but no simpler. So we're going to keep our carbohydrates to 20 grams a day, and we're going to keep our training to 20 minutes a day. So we're going to do 2 Tabatas, a warm-up Tabata, and then we're going to do some resistance training, and then we're going to do a harder interval Tabata at the end. The entire sequence is only going to take 20 minutes. Why is that? I did a video 2 weeks ago asking, are you an exercise compensator? I am. If I do too much cardio, I compensate by eating more calories, eating more food, and also I have a tendency, if I do too much cardio, to burn muscle. So we're going to be starting in just a couple of minutes. A couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, was my husband's birthday, and my son graduated from high school, and we've been going out to eat, we've been hosting parties, we've been doing all of these different things that have kind of changed my eating strategy a little bit. Normally, I keep it keto all the time. But on special occasions, I do eat cheese and nuts and fruit. Well, I've been doing that for about the last couple of weeks, and the result is I have fluffed up. So, time to get lean, time to get tight, and do the 2020 challenge. So next 20 days, 20 carbohydrates maximum a day, 20-minute training sessions, 20 days, and I'm going to be sharing the results with you. I hope that you will follow along, and the music that I'm going to be using is all YouTube music, so no copyright issues there, correct? This is all music that's provided by YouTube. So here's what's coming up. We're going to be doing Tabata number 1, total body extension, cross crawl, squat, and reverse fly. Here we go. I'll, of course, once I'm done, I will post the exercises that we did in the video notes. Music on. And away we go. So here's the warm-up, total body extensions. Oh, I gotta start the Tabata, right? So here's my Tabata timer. Let's start it. Loading it up.
Starting your Tabata.
There it is.
Get ready. Exercise.
This is the warm-up, nice and easy. Starting to draw in the abs, pulling in the sides of the waist, focusing on form.
Rest.
And resting. Going into a cross crawl, very, very gentle, very easy. If you're an exercise beginner, this is perfect exercise for you. Here we go. Getting the body moving, connecting the brain to the body.
Rest.
Going to go into a body weight squat next. Gonna take this nice and easy, gonna have my arms right here.
Exercise.
And dropping down, coming up. Abs tight.
Rest.
Now, continuing to warm up the body with a reverse fly, no weights.
Exercise.
You can see I was eager to get started. It's a good beat.
Rest.
Your Tabata training is going to be 8 rounds of 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, back to the top.
Exercise.
So I'm going to come up on the balls of my feet now. Don't roll out. cross crawl. You've got 20 minutes 3 times a week, don't you? Of course you do.
Exercise.
More YouTube music?
Rest.
Next exercise, going into a squat. I think I'll go into the prisoner squat next.
Exercise.
And dropping back. Pulling it in. Pulling the shoulders back.
Rest.
And then finally into that body weight reverse fly.
Exercise.
Warming up all the areas of the body that I'm going to be using in my resistance training.
Rest.
All right. That should be the last one. Yep, that's it.
Done. Great workout. You spent 4 minutes 7 seconds exercising.
All right. So our Tabata timer is all set up for the next round. And I'll go ahead. So we are going into our resistance training. We're going to be doing chest press, suitcase squat, rows, Romanian deadlifts, and curls. And we're going to do them in a circuit. We're going to do 8 reps each. Here's one of the things. We want to make our routines as simple as possible, not too complex and complicated. So if you want to know what weights to start with, I'm going to start with 5, 10s, and 15s. If you want to set up a home gym, you can start with that. You can start with a yoga mat, pair of 5s, pair of 10s, a pair of 15s, and then add on and invest in weights as you go up. You can create a pretty lean and tight body, especially if you're a female, with just 5, 10, 15s, and then adding a pair of 20s as you get stronger. I'll demonstrate. So we're starting with the chest press, and I'm going to go ahead and use the 10s for this, and then move up to the 15s on the next round. Here we go. Chest press from the floor. All right, weights at the hips, roll down, and for 8. And rocking up, down they go. Going to go into a suitcase squat. So I'm holding the dumbbells as if I was holding a pair of suitcases. Here we go for 8. And squeeze. Immediately into a row, setting one dumbbell down, starting with my left hand. Abs tight. And switching it out. Now we're going to go into the Romanian deadlift. So I do need to go heavier. Getting out the 15s. Here we go. Clear the knees, stand and squeeze. finishing with a dumbbell curl. Now, of course, this is going to be easy, but we will increase the weight as we go through the 20-day challenge. You've got your 10s, so you can always move up. So that's circuit number 1. Going to grab some water. And then head into the next circuit. Taking about 30 seconds between circuits to recover before we go into the next one. The heavier you lift, the more recovery you're going to need. Not using real heavy weights for me today, so don't need a whole lot of recovery before I go back in. Here we go. You don't need a bench, you can use the floor. Rolling down. Pull those abs down tight. Use gravity to your advantage. And rocking up. Whoops. Hello. If your weights are light, squeeze everything, use excellent form. Suitcase squat for 8. And I'm going to row. I'm going to double this. We can do this as a double row. Increases difficulty and intensity. There we go. Immediately into Romanian deadlift. Right into the curls. Getting it done. Efficient. Just the right amount of time. Not too much. Not too little. Covering all the bases. I do hope that you will look at that video about are you an exercise compensator, really understanding some people can do a lot of cardio, some people can do long training sessions, get great results with it. But some of us, if we train too long, we compensate, end up eating more, burning muscle. This particular program, I've specifically designed it to eliminate that risk. The whole thing should take about 20 minutes. Last round of the resistance. All right, we're going to chest press last time. The ability to go to the floor keeps you young. 1, 2, abs down tight. 3, 4, it's 5, 6, 7, and 8. Rocking up. Immediately coming up into suitcase squat. Here we go. So this is essentially a dumbbell complex. Into the Romanian deadlift. Final resistance exercise of the round, the curls. Next training session, it'll be tricep extensions. Five important lifts. There you have it. Gonna grab some water, and then we're gonna go into that final round of Tabata. This one is gonna be more intense. All right, let's go.
Starting your Tabata workout. Get ready. Exercise.
I am resisting on the way down. Squeezing my legs when they come up.
Rest.
All right, now, to make this more challenging, the next exercise is a mountain climber.
Exercise.
We're gonna go cross body with this. Head in line. Spine neutral.
Rest.
Powering through until the voice tells me to rest.
Exercise.
Squat. Gonna make this a prisoner squat. A little more challenging. Going for more intensity.
Rest.
And so now that reverse fly, going to use dumbbells.
Exercise. Rest.
Now, final round, one little addition, I'm gonna add a weight to my squat. Here we go.
Exercise.
Bring it home. Last 2 minutes of the routine.
Rest.
All right, gonna get into that mountain climber. Get ready
Exercise.
and go. I know this is the last one, so gonna give it more intensity. It's not gonna last long. Whew.
Rest.
All right, so now, going to make it a goblet squat.
Exercise.
Last round, best round.
Rest.
And finally, reverse fly.
Exercise.
I'm pulling up my abs. Spine is neutral. Shoulders are down. Working the back of the body.
Rest.
All right.
Done. Great workout. You spent 4 minutes 7 seconds exercising.
4 minutes to warm up. 4 minutes of intense work at the end. And then 12 minutes of resistance training in between. There is your 2020. The big stretch. Total body coming down. Rolling up. The greatest challenge is not gaining the weight back. How lean we could all be if we never gained it back, correct? I know I've lost over 1,000 pounds over the course of a lifetime. The key to not gaining it back, I believe, is your training. In order to release the fat, to lose the weight you want to lose, you've got to find the right nutrition strategy. That's 80%. And then 20% is the training in terms of your physical actions. Of course, 100% is your mindset, correct? And the way you think and how you feel about yourself. Whole nother video there. But the greatest challenge is keeping the weight off. And keeping the weight off doesn't get nearly as much response or excitement as how to lose weight, get lean fast, look fantastic, look younger, all of those things. Really, this isn't necessarily what people are searching for, correct? But the reason I have this channel, and the reason that I continue to make videos, even on days when I don't really feel like I look my best, whatever, I continue to make them because I was out there looking for somebody like me, looking for a woman over 40 who had overcome obesity long term, and continue to look for people who have lost a lot of weight and have continued to keep it off. And then on top of that is what we often see with individuals who lose more than 30 pounds, 40, 50, more than 60, 70. In my case, we have a tendency to start seeing loose skin and these kinds of problems. How can you prevent that? When I got into the gym at my top non-pregnancy weight of almost 190 pounds, I started doing cardio and I lost weight fast, but I was losing as much muscle as I was fat. And this is when my skin got loose. Once I got wise after the first 20 pounds, so I'm at about 170, I'm still obese, but I clued in that the cardio was burning my muscle. It was making me hungry. I started to do resistance training and I started to do intervals, and then the fat started to come off. And then on top of that, because I was doing resistance training and I was building muscle, my weight loss was slow but steady. As a matter of fact, when I won the turbulence training contest back in 2008, that was a 12-week contest and I lost 14 pounds, but I lost a bunch of sizes and I lost like 5 inches off of my waist. So even though I was only losing about a pound a week, I was losing inches all over, I was losing fat, and I was building muscle. So at the end of that challenge, I wasn't weak and worn out and a mess and wanting to go eat everything back. No, I was actually stronger, fitter, and happier, which allowed me to continue training afterwards. So part of this 2020 challenge is the concept that we're not doing for something for 20 days and then quitting. No, we're establishing a method over the course of 20 days. My 20 grams of carbohydrate might look a little bit different than your 20 grams of carbohydrate. I also want to address, and I'll do this in another video as well, the number one reason why people return Sugar Freedom, the Sugar Freedom program, number one is they're concerned about the amount of saturated fat on the plan. Because I do use butter, I eat bacon, I do eat beef. I want you to know that you can do Sugar Freedom without a lot of saturated fat. You can use olive oil, you can eat avocados, you can eat fish and chicken and leaner cuts of meat if that works for you. You don't have to eat a bunch of saturated fat. However, what I will say, in my case, is that in order to manage my appetite, in order to keep my appetite under control, or under good management, I should say, I have to keep those carbs to 20 grams a day if my goal is to release fat. That gets me into a ketogenic state, creating that beta-hydroxybutyrate, which gives me a good mood, good energy, and relieves those cravings. Take a look, I have another video, how does keto suppress appetite? And what it does is it reduces ghrelin. And ghrelin is the hormone that rises as we lose weight because the body loves homeostasis. The body wants to stay the same. And if we look at the research, what is the marker of longevity? It is the body that stays the same over time. So you want, once you've done the program, you do want to maintain that weight loss. And for me, you want to maintain that waist loss, because more research shows is that if we can keep that waistline within 2 inches of what it was when we were first mature, if you know what that was, keep it within 2 inches, we have lower incidences of all of the diseases of aging and the diseases that are connected with obesity. And those are Alzheimer's, diabetes type 2, cancers, depression. Oh my goodness. We'll have to talk about that on another video as well. There is, I call it the glucose madness and the sugar sadness. I am a glucomaniac. The consequence for me of overeating carbohydrates is just this terrible, terrible feelings of low self-worth and self-loathing. We used to think it's like, oh yeah, well you gained some weight, no wonder you're mad at yourself. But now we're understanding that it's the inflammation that's caused by the sugar and the glucose, that this inflammation actually also increases chances of depression. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for joining me on this live session. I am going to come back. I'm committing to this. Here I am, guys and gals and guys. I am going to be doing this 2020 protocol for the next 20 days. So I'm going to be back on Friday. I'm going to be back on Monday, and I'm going to be doing this at around 5:30 in the morning, maybe 5 on the days that I have to go into work. On Friday, I'll be doing it at 5 for the next 20 days. My commitment to you, my commitment to myself, and you make the commitment to yourself to find your way of eating and your way of moving that's going to keep you healthy and happy for your whole life. Thanks, everybody. Watch some other videos. Watch that video on how keto reduces